So this is the second video on logistic regression. If you've already got a sense of what logistic regression is, you might not need to watch the first video. Otherwise, go back and watch that. It'll be on a playlist that you can watch now. Just a 2-second summary. Logistic regression is really, we've got predictor variables, in this case, glucose, and we've got outcome variables, which in this case is diabetes. And the outcome variable always has to be binary. In this case, diabetes or not diabetes. Diabetes in green at the bottom, not diabetes, red at the top, right? The outcome variable always has to be binary. Then we're talking about logistic regression. The predictor variables can be numeric or categorical. Okay, on this YouTube channel, we're creating R programming videos on everything. In this video, we're going to look at numeric, and in the example we're going to use is glucose. Glucose values in blood are just numeric values. Okay, so happy days, we know what we're talking about here. As you can see from the diagram, people with lower glucose levels are going to land in this bucket down here. Think of this as an entire bucket, by the way. I've just stuck them all together, where you're less likely to have diabetes. If you've got higher glucose, you're more likely to have diabetes, and we can look at that here, and you can see as you move from low glucose to high glucose, the probability goes up. And this, what you're looking at right now, is a logistic regression. Okay, so it is really that simple. Now, just so that you know, if you're watching my videos for the first time, all of the code to do any of this is available on this page, and I'm going to put a link at the end of the video that you can click on to get access to this page. And next to each line of code, there is annotation explaining what it is that I'm doing at that point in the coding. You can also click on this little button there, and it'll let you cut and paste the code into RStudio. The data that I'm using is available to you as well. So if you go, you install ML Bench, and then you get this, you can get this data set, and it comes with the package, and then you can do everything that I'm doing. Replicate it at home. It's the best way to learn. Okay, so we've said that we've got this data. I've just done the first 10 lines of it, giving us this kind of relationship between glucose and diabetes. How do we get there in terms of a model, right? Here's the code for the model, right? We create an object called model. And that object, what is inside that object? Well, what is that object? Well, we use the same coding for a linear model, for generalized linear model, right? But we're going to adjust it, just a little tweak in a few seconds, so nobody panic. We start with the outcome variable, which is binary, always binary, which is diabetes. We then include the predictor variable, and at this point, just one, and later on we'll add, and we'll talk about how to do that. We say what data we're using, and then and this is where we tell we tell R that we want a logistic regression model. We say family equals binomial. Okay, so once you've done that, you have a model. Right, so if you run that, run summary of the model, you will get this output. Ta-da! And you've done your first logistic regression model. Now, I'm going to talk you through some of these results in this video. As we go through the series of videos, we will get to everything. But I want you to just understand one concept at a time and make sure that you've got that clear and nailed down. And in this case, what I want you to look at are these coefficients, and they're probably the most important thing to look at when we talk about logistic regression, right? There's two coefficients that we've got here, the intercept and glucose, right? And that kind of corresponds to this, the model really is this line. The intercept is down here where it intercepts with the y-axis. Well, in actual fact, this is the line that gives us the probability. This value here, this estimate here, is the log odds. Okay, the natural logarithm of the odds. And you don't worry if you don't understand the mathematics of it, because this is all you need right now. This is all you need to understand, right? It is, think of it as a proxy for the likelihood. It's not the exact probability, but if it is positive, then the probability is going up. If it is 0, the probability is staying 0. And if it is negative, the probability is going down. So it tells us about the direction of travel. Now, we can do some mathematical jiggery-pokery and figure out the exact probability change. And that's essentially what happens on that little curve. But really what you need to know when you look at this number is this going up or is it going down? Is this number positive or negative? So it's positive, which tells us that as glucose goes up, the likelihood of being diagnosed with diabetes goes up. Is it statistically significant? Well, we've got a p-value here. So yes, the p-value is very, very small, 2 times 10 to the power of negative 16. It's a tiny number. So this is a statistically significant result. And that's the take-home message here. This model tells us that glucose has a positive relationship with diabetes, in the sense that the more glucose you have, the more likely you are to have diabetes, and that is statistically significant. Right. We've also got this estimate here, the estimate of the intercept. that is the intercept where the graph crosses the y-axis. In other words, at the point that glucose is 0, what would the probability of getting diabetes? It's a meaningless number, and I'll tell you why. With a glucose of 0, you would be dead, right? Nobody has a glucose of 0. And if there is data with glucose of 0, the data is spurious. So we will ignore the intercept in this case, right? There are circumstances under which you might be interested in the intercept, not in this particular case, right? Other parts of this output we're going to talk about in other videos, and actually are less relevant because these other issues like residual deviance and the AIC, they're going to help us decide as we add variables, whether by adding those variables we've improved or deteriorated our model. So they become more important when we start creating a more complex model. But for now, I hope you understood that. There should be a link on the screen at the moment that you can click on to get access to this page and all of the code and annotations, etc., etc. Hope you're doing well. Don't do drugs. Don't ever change. Always do your best. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.